Yo, this is another review of a phone, this time the OPPO Find N2 Blip, and it was a phone that I purchased on eBay. It was released I think first in China. It's a Chinese brand, and it was released in last year 2022 December, and I've been using it for like a week now or something like that. And I'm gonna be going in depth with the cover display, and so this is the front screen right now. It opened up, and you can see the crease is so minimal. It's one of the most minimal creases on the market right now. And I chose this game, Dead Island 2, because it's really good to see like how 3D it kind of looks when you bend it. It curves the screen and makes it look kind of 3D. It's way better in real life than it is on camera. So this is one of my favorite YouTubers, Easter Gamers, and he's playing like the FOV, wider FOV type of game, and that's why I chose this. It's really immersive when you actually use this phone this way, but it gets pretty tiring when you hold it that way for too long. So here I moved on to BeatStar. I'm testing out BeatStar because it's a game that requires a lot of speed in terms of FPS, and the screen has to be very sensitive, but not too sensitive to the point where it registers multiple taps. So it's a game where you have to kind of sync up to the music, the beat of the music, and whilst you're doing that, the game does suffer some lag. So on the OPPO, it does suffer from lag. So it's really rare, but it is consistent. There is lag at times, and it kind of ruins your flow when you're playing this game. So if you're playing high intensive games like this, I don't like recommend a phone like this. So it's not high intensive in terms of game, but it could handle pretty much any game that I threw at it. If it can handle, Mobile Legends and Call of Duty, then it can handle pretty much anything, but not to the highest degree. So if you were expecting any of that, then it's not here. Now onto the display, onto the cover display, you can see how much bigger it is compared to the Samsung. That's what I was appealed by to get this phone in the first place, because it looks really useful for me. I don't like to always have a phone that is so large that I hold in my hands. My hands are quite small, so that helps a lot for me. And the way the phone is, when you play this game, it can't register many taps. So you have to not have like two fingers at the same time that are tapping the screen. Otherwise it does get stuck and doesn't register. So I'm not sure if it's the display that is having a hard time registering the taps, or if it's the application that I used, Coverscreen OS, that you can download from Android, all Android devices, by the way. So it's meant for both the Samsung and the OPPO here. And it runs pretty much any application, but when it comes to accuracy, when it comes to like the touch screen actually reacting to every single touch that you make, it's poor. So I would say it's poorly optimized, but then again, you can use pretty much any app with this app. So all of the apps I've tried pretty much work, whether it's a small app or a large app. And the instructions are also pretty clear. They make it really clear on how to solve certain issues if you do have So here is Mobile Legends on the cover screen, and this is insane to me to be able to be playing a game so high intensive as Mobile Legends on the cover screen, and right off the bat you can see that I can't really touch the corners of the screen, and this is really limiting the scope of games that you can play on the cover screen, because if you can't even touch the corners, then many games are going to be, you know, unplayable at that point. So I'm going through the menu right now and I'm having difficulty to actually scroll through and have accuracy, not only because my fingers are kind of like too large for the screen, but the main thing is that it's not even registering it, so I have to either make large like light taps, or I have to make him heavy as hell so it actually registers. But yeah, it's, as you can see, it's not well optimized. I can't even go back. Many times there are things on the corners that I can't interact with, so big weakness in the game. So we're off in a game. This is a bot session, obviously. I don't want to be peaked to my teammates and actually go onto a live session, multiplayer one, because as you can see, then again, I can't even touch the go screen to actually activate my character. So yeah, that's the kind of things that you have to deal with. Man, I'm not sure if OPPO actually made a system that didn't require these kinds of third-party apps to actually use the app to its full potential, then maybe we wouldn't have like a delayed screen like this that is not well optimized in terms of touch, you know. Look at that, I'm trying to upgrade my skill and I'm having a hard time. Yeah, it's rough, and it's a rough game throughout the whole thing pretty much. You can see that movement is pretty spot on, because I mean I'm just holding down, so yeah. But once you first touch the screen, it's not about holding down. Like when you hold down it's quite accurate, but when you're just tapping here and there, it's inaccurate because it doesn't register all the time. And yeah, so this is me clearing waves. The game is running at like full HD, but the resolution on the cover screen is not actually full HD. Although it shows quite good, it kind of shows like those old retro style TVs or something like that. So it's good and it's bad at the same time, because really small text you can't see very well. That's the only issue, but it's clear at the same time, so I don't really know how to explain it. You just have to try it yourself. This is the store that I can't even access again because it's in the corner, and this takes a while. I think I get fed up of this shit, so I switch over to doing something else. But yeah, that's gonna be the whole game if you're gonna be playing something like this. Just too frustrating to be playing high intensive games like this. So, well, it would be running any series I was watching on Amazon Video, for example, Clarkson's Farm, and it was running pretty good. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it was good, and the resolution was great too. Like, I just put it on highest resolution. And yeah, it wasn't as good, of course, as the main screen, as the bigger screen, but very well. Like, you can easily watch things on it, and there's no like blurring or motion blur in the footage. There is a bit of YouTube. YouTube is pretty easy on here. It works, you know, some of the best compared to the other apps. Scrolling is pretty easy, skipping is also pretty easy. The icons are not too large, because I know in some apps the icons get so large to the point where you can't even click on them. But on YouTube, it's like, look at that, you know, it's very well placed and sized. So that's on the top left, as you saw there, is how you can change it being horizontal and being vertical. And each app you can change it around. So with YouTube, you would do that obviously for watching them, like something, and at the same time liking, disliking, commenting, looking at the comments, looking at other videos. And it does its job pretty well. It's, you know, it's quite effective. Nothing looks out of the ordinary. So I'm watching it in full screen, and one annoying thing is that each video for some reason is set to like its lowest resolution. I mean, the resolution, the screen is so small to the point where I didn't even realize that it was on lowest resolution. But once I put it on highest, I'm like, yeah, it is obviously better. But it's not actually like that resolution. I don't even know how to describe it. They couldn't fit that many pixels, I guess, into that small screen. So, but it looks great. In person, it looks better than it does on camera. Actually, on camera right now, it's out of focus, so I move it a little bit further away so that it's better in focus. Yeah, and it was running the video quite well. No motion blur, as I said. You know, graphics are very well attained. And literally, it's just they made a big screen and they just like lowered it in size. That's it. So they didn't really mess around with the application much. Like the creators of this Coverscreen OS thing application, they didn't mess around with it. They just literally made it smaller, and that's about it. So a lot of the functions are still kept intact. So here you can see like an example of using one of the browsers. So this is the Firefox browser, and you can see like there was black bars on the screen. And they have like a tutorial to get rid of that. You go into the settings like I'm doing now. Scroll down. Then full screen for apps, yeah. Then customize apps, and then you scroll down until you find Firefox. It's on auto adapt right now. You just switch it to show front camera, and then the problem is solved. That's pretty much it. So if you see any other apps that also have that black bar, that's pretty much what you do. And it works pretty well. So I launch it up again, and I don't know why I just did that. And yeah, black bar is gone. All good. And then you can use different browsers. And you got the thing function, the keyboard, so you can either do it like the phone type as you would do like on old flip phones and shit like that. The Nokia, it just reminds me of a Nokia or a Sony Ericsson back in the day. But if you hold that thing, you can actually make it landscape. So bottom right is when you hold that dial. You can make it landscape, and it's way easier to type. For me, it was so hard to type right now because I'm looking through the camera lens and I'm trying to type, so it's way harder than without looking from a camera. So in your perspective, should be way easier. Unless you got massive thumbs, then it could be an issue. But yeah, so you know, this makes it way more efficient to actually use it. You don't have to open the screen, like the display up, the inner display, to necessarily watch something or search something. So this is great. It's pretty much the same with YouTube. It's the same with any other application. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. And if you made it to the end, I appreciate you. You're a real one. Take care. I'm out.